you guys might not like me by the end of it, but I like to think I'm here to give the truth. And if you have a problem with the truth, then you can take it up with the truth, right? So tonight I wanted to take a sneak peek into something, a trait of sorts that all successful people have, so that you can also have access to that trait and become successful yourself. So I want to start off by telling a story as to where I learned this truth and developed this truth, and then we can unpack it. So some of you guys know I used to train in person as a personal trainer. The last gym I worked at was Self-Made, if you guys know the Self-Made facilities. And I worked at the headquarters here in Temecula. So one of the unique things about that gym is, it's built for trainers, and the trainers can run their business outside of the gym. So it's not a membership gym or a public access gym. Basically, the gym advertises to trainers, and they come in, pay rent, and run their own business and have complete autonomy. So because of that, oftentimes like the media people would come around and interview us and create media for other people like us and talk about, entrepreneurship and all this good stuff. So it wasn't abnormal for us to come get questioned and film some interesting content. So one time, the main media guy came up to me and he asked me if I had a minute, and I was between clients. So I agreed, and he asked me a question that totally took me by surprise. And that's what I want to unpack tonight. He asked me what I thought a common trait was among all successful people, right? And I'm like between clients, and I'm like, he throws his camera on my face, and I'm sitting there like drawing a blank, but I took my time and I was like, what do I really think about this? What do I really think the answer is? And I know successful people do a lot of things, right? But one thing for certain that I know they do is take complete and total ownership over the outcomes that they get. So I said to the camera that, I believe a common trait among successful people is that no matter what outcome they get, they accept that it's entirely their fault, right? Whether they succeed or fail, they blame themselves. So I'm not sure how they ended up feeling about my answer, because I never ended up seeing that video, but that's what I wanted to unpack tonight. So I propose to you guys that you must take personal responsibility for every outcome in your life. You don't have to take responsibility for the inputs, right? The things that happen to you, but every outcome is your fault, right? We know if you take action long enough, it produces an outcome, right? If you eat like crap long enough, you'll become unhealthy, you'll have problems. If you skip exercise or stay inactive long enough, you'll become unhealthy and have consequences, right? You might have started eating poorly or skipping exercise or decreasing activity because of some external circumstance, and that's fine, right? A few actions here and there is never going to produce an outcome. But if you kept doing those things for years, right? I'm proposing tonight that at the end of the day, you must accept that long term, at some point, no one was force feeding you bad foods. No one was, stopping you from walking or exercising for years on end. At some point, you decidedly did those things and kept doing them. And for that reason, I believe you must take ownership over your outcome. You can blame the world, or you can blame yourself. But just know that successful people don't blame anything outside of themselves for their outcomes. They only blame themselves. Why? Because who or what you blame gets all the power. If you blame yourself, you give yourself all the power. If you blame other things, you're not doing what successful people do, and you're giving away your power, and you're essentially eventually going to end up walking through life thinking you're a victim. And you might be a victim, but you don't have to stay one. And we know this is true in the most extreme of cases. We all have heard inspiring stories of people enduring the most crazy, even life-threatening traumas, and coming back out of that on the other side better and stronger, while someone in maybe a similar scenario shrunk to their smallest version. So what's the difference? I don't know for sure, but I suspect it can come down to how each of us decide to respond to what happens to us and around us. It's the only way that I can reconcile how one person can be broken by a circumstance versus another who can become empowered. So contrary to what, a victim mindset might believe, success doesn't just happen to people, and neither does failure. They're the results of actions either taken or not taken. So I believe it's 100% your fault if you succeed and lose all the body fat that you intend to lose. It's your fault if you get stronger in the gym. It's your fault if you handcraft your absolute dream lifestyle and then get to live it out every day. But it's also your fault if you quit. It's also your fault if you give less than you're able to, or if you skip things, skip workouts, skip meals. And if those things lead to the outcome of never transforming your health and your body, that's your fault as well. And you are completely justified to blame anyone or anything besides yourself. And most likely you're always going to find a justification behind whoever or whatever you're pointing your finger at, right? If someone wastes your time, that time's gone. If someone abuses your generosity, that energy is gone. If you get stuck in traffic, or, your fridge goes out and all your food spoils, or your kids eat all your food that you prepped, right? Yes, you can blame all of that and more, and you would be justified to do so. But let me ask you this. Do you want to be justified or successful? Do you want valid excuses or hard results? If you fight for your excuses, you get to keep them, no matter how good they are. So, I propose tonight that your success or failure to obtain what you say is meaningful is completely your fault. So if you take nothing away from tonight, take that. Because I have had so many friends and family write themselves off because they think success just happens to some people and not others. But that's a complete lie. You can succeed at absolutely anything you set your mind to. So, set your mind to this. Give yourself exclusive responsibility for your outcomes. And don't blame anyone else or anything outside of you for what you do or don't do each day and for what you get. I think if you do that, you'll find a way to take the actions that matter. With that mindset, you will find a way. And if you find a way enough times in a row, success will occur because you'll be playing the right game. So, who agrees? Who doesn't? Let's talk about it. Thank you so much for watching. We truly hope you enjoyed that lesson. So every single week we make room for one guest spot on these support calls. So if you'd like the opportunity to attend, ask questions, receive coaching, just hit the link in the description box, or you can head over to gainslinger.com/coach me. Once again, that's Gainslinger, GAINSLINGER.com/coach me, all one word. Have a blessed day and we'll see you next week.